Hey, what's up guys, Mixelplix here. In today's video we're going to be playing the Enhancement Shaman in Atal'Dazar. Now this dungeon unfortunately is having a few FPS bugs at the entrance and even throughout some of the dungeon. I don't know what is causing it, but for some reason every time I go in this dungeon, even when I'm not recording or live streaming, I tend to have issues with it. So excuse the few FPS dips. It does get better throughout the video, but for some reason in the first 5 to 8 minutes of the dungeon, it just does this. Hopefully they fix it in the next build. But yeah, anyways, again, we're going to be playing the Enhancement Shaman. Now, we're going to be playing the build that I showcased off in the Enhancement video, kind of showcasing off the talents and abilities. But this build is based around Earthen Spike, Overcharge, and Landslide. I did kind of make a couple changes to this build and playability. For example, using the Legendary Ring, if I'm wanting some high burst moments, I need to be actively using the Frostbrand, so I get all 3 elements. So you get like a total of what I think 4.5 elemental damage, or a total damage increase overall. Just started doing that recently, but overall, Enhancement Shaman is a lot of fun. It's definitely a little bit overtuned. I mean, lightning bolts on my shaman, my Alliance Shaman, who is now Horde, if using Earthen Spike and it crits, is hitting for just shy of 20k per hit, which is way overtuned, but it is a lot of fun. Though I do expect this to get nerfed in the next build. But anyways, guys, we're gonna kind of let the video play on. I will go ahead and explain the boss fights from the melee perspective. But yeah, sit back and enjoy. Well, a little bit of advice. So on these Skyscream packs with the compies, you're going to want to focus the Skyscream. Try to have your group kind of stacked together, but you want to kick the fear, as it is an AoE fear and it lasts about 5 seconds, which is not bad, but I mean, it's not needed, you know what I mean? So you will see me mostly target the Skyscreamer here and just wait for their fear to get casted, and I'll make sure to interrupt that right away. Alright, so on this first pack leading to Volcal, what you would want to do here is focus the shield bearers. I made the mistake of focusing the witch doctors for some reason, but the shield bearers are what you want to hit, what you want to focus. You can focus them down. What you can do here as well is, I'm not sure if stun actually works on them. For some reason, they still keep the shield effect even through CC. I have reported this as a bug, but I imagine if this is a bug, that'll get fixed, and CCs like stuns, like fears, will make them stop casting that bulwark of Juju, which, by the way, you cannot kick. You're just going to have to get the other mobs out of that bubble right away. Alright, so we're on Volcal as the first boss. What you're going to want to do here is focus the totems as quick as you can. I am using Feral Lens here as a, mobility to go from totem to totem. Obviously you can use Spirit Wolf here if you wanted to, but I just found Feral Lunge is good for just gapping that distance. Nothing too special here. We're just going to keep up our Landslide and Firebrand up, and then to set up the crazy lightning bolt damage, you're going to want to have Earthen Spike up into a lightning bolt. That way you can get those maximum hits. Unfortunately, this shaman doesn't have the crazy gear like my Alliance does, which I cannot wait. As this video, this shaman you're seeing is deleted. We'll be doing shaman videos on that shaman exclusively, because he just hits so much harder. But anyways, you're going to want to focus him down. Don't stand in bad stuff. There's no real other mechanic. This is pretty much a burn fight at the moment. Oh, do note also, one of the another things you can do here is use a lightning earth shield combo. I'm not sure if this is gonna actually last, if it's just a bug, but right now in alpha you can have bull shields, which is really good because earth shield procs off everything, so it's really good for keeping yourself up a little bit.
build me again.
All right, we are on the second boss, Razan. Now, Razan is a simple boss. He has a couple of mechanics that you're gonna need to look out for. The one upside here of having a shaman is having Tremor Totem. Tremor Totem was newly added back into BFA, but it is perfect for this fight because you have to hide from his terrifying visage. Now, with Tremor Totem, you can just put that down before you cast it, and it'll automatically get you out of it the moment it is cast, which is great. I love it. I'm glad they finally brought it back. It was one of those things, I don't know why they took it out, but it was always one of those iconic abilities, kind of like Earth Shield in a way that they decided to bring back. But for this fight, you're just going to want to cleave the raptors if there is any, and just burn down the boss. If you do happen to get devoured, you can pop an external cooldown, like Ancestral, or any of these cooldowns. Really, the Devour doesn't hit that hard. I mentioned this before in my other dungeon videos. What kills you is the bleed, but the tank is the only one that gets the bleed. So as long as you heal yourself a couple times with a couple of surges or whatever, you should be fine. I mean, it's really not that bad. All right, we're on Priestess Atal'Dazar. Now, unfortunately, our tank decided to go a little ham here and pulled everything. We killed the Priestess ahead of time, but we just pulled all the trash on top of the boss and AoE'd it. The one thing you want to kick here, if this does happen on live or in beta, you're going to want to kick the Augurs, as they do that crazy AoE, which is where 90% of the damage we just took came from. As well as you want to keep, there is a boss involved, so you're going to want to keep doing the mechanics. So when she does cast Transfusion, you're going to want to hop into the blood pool right away and just get the debuff. Like I said in other videos, you can get it a couple seconds ahead of time, as the debuff lasts about 15 seconds or so. So get it ahead of time and just keep DPSing the boss. One thing here on this fight, as well as a shaman, you can dispel her Gilded Claws, which actually got buffed, like kind of stealth buffed actually. So on alpha at the moment, you're going to want to keep that off of her ASAP. So you can't spell steal it. I don't know if it actually does anything. I think you can possibly spell steal it as a DK and actually benefit from it, but I haven't actually tested it yet. And this is just a normal boss fight. They seem to have removed the globe mechanic of the fight, at least at the moment. It's been broken for quite a while, so I think they're kind of playing around with not actually having it. So all in all, easy fight, dispel, and just burn her down. And make sure you do the transfusion mechanic. All right, so we're on the final boss, the Yasma. The Yasma is by far the hardest boss in here, but it's not really a challenge for an Enhancement Shaman, especially when you're using Lunge. Now, one of the things you're going to want to do here is kick, Racking Pain. Unfortunately, I did miss the first kick trying to line up all of my cooldowns, but once Soul Rend does go out, you can Feral Lunge to the ad, burn it down. A great thing about being a shaman, you have Capacitator Totem, you have Earthbind, and you have slows, and you just have really good burst damage, which is just enhancements are perfect for this fight. Mobility, everything. But melee will get targeted with Soul Rend, so you are going to want to pay attention. Make sure if you do get that debuff, you need to run out immediately. But ads are always priority. Boss is second, and just don't stand in bad stuff. It's a simple fight. The simple fight, though. I gotta say, this is probably the best class for this fight. I've done this as a rogue, It's not too bad. I think the worst is Survival Hunter at the moment, just because their burst is kind of unpredictable. Enhancement, it's just always consistent. Alright, so at the very end of this video, we're going to be showcasing off the logs for this dungeon, covering all the boss fights. So let's go ahead and check it out. As you see here, we did 2400 damage. The Shadow Priest did 1700, as well as the Fire Mage. So they actually did pretty good damage. You got to see here that most of my damage is coming from melee and Lightning Bolt, as Lightning Bolt is just hitting so hard at the moment. So I kind of skewed the meters a little bit, but that is basically what we're looking at. And then for Razan, we did 2300, and the Shadow Priest and Fire Mage did just about 1600. You know, unfortunately the Mage was just like one off of it, actually. Not bad. And then we go into Priestess Alunza. We did 2800 on that fight. Shadow Priest did 2400, and the Fire Mage also did 2400. You also have to consider for that fight that we did do a large pull for the boss, so those meters are kind of skewed a little bit, but they definitely caught up with a little bit of AoE. Then we have Yasma. Now Yasma, we definitely did pretty good, even while shifting over to ads during that fight. We did about 2600 DPS. And there you guys have it. Showcasing off the logs, the DPS of myself and other people in our group. If you guys like this new format and like this video, please hit that like button. If you didn't, hit that dislike. It's all good. Consider subscribing to our channel for more alpha content, as well as our alpha live streams that we do exclusively here on YouTube about 4 days a week, covering multiple classes and just having general discussions about alpha. It's been actually a blast doing it. But stay tuned. We got a Subtlety and Unholy DK dungeon video coming soon, as well as the logs for those. So I think that's it. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more Battle for Azeroth alpha content. Thank you guys.